Hello everybody, welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Oana.
Today's video is called, Is Las Vegas a Good Place to Live? So we get asked a lot by people when we tell them we're from Las Vegas, hey, what's it like living? They always say that, no matter where we go. And some of you know who watch the channel, we did a video in Croatia just a couple months ago. We're actually in Croatia, we did the video. And people all over the world always want to know what it's like living, because they're very excited. They have this, they've seen Vegas in movies, and a lot of times they want to know, like, what's it really like to live there? Okay, so what we're going to do is talk about some of the perks, the benefits of living here, why Vegas is so unique. And I will let you go first.
So I have to give you full disclosure. I love living in Las Vegas. And I am not from Las Vegas.
Not from Las Vegas.
I have lived here for about 23 years.
Okay.
And
where were you before that?
I was in Reno before that. So you have to have this understanding. When I moved to Las Vegas, I thought, okay, I'm going to be here for a couple years and then I'm leaving because Las Vegas is not where I want to live. And I don't think I was in Las Vegas more than a couple of weeks before I fell in love with living in Las Vegas. Okay. And you may wonder why.
Okay.
And so let me tell you why. Las Vegas is fantastic. Between the outdoorsy things that we can do, the indoor things, the entertainment, the food, there's just so much to be done here.
What's your favorite?
My favorite is actually all the outdoor things.
Okay. Outdoor things. So name some outdoor things in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about those first. Outdoor things. So what are some outdoor things in Las Vegas that are very cool?
Okay. So I love going hiking at Red Rock.
Okay.
It's about 20 minutes from our house. It's a national park. It's a very popular national park. As a matter of fact, I think it's the second most popular national park in the country for free climbers. It's a fantastic park.
Second most visited.
And second most visited.
Yep.
And keep in mind that the other cool thing about Las Vegas is that we're only a few hours away from the Grand Canyon. So most visitors to the Grand Canyon will come through Las Vegas.
Yep. You can go out on a helicopter, or you can drive out there.
Yes, so that's one of the things
Grand Canyon.
That
what
we've
else?
done. We've gone to the Grand Canyon via helicopter. We've driven there. We've hiked the Grand Canyon. We've gone into the Grand Canyon via mule.
Mule all the way to the Phantom Ranch.
Yeah, so great place to visit. I like skiing, and I have been able to ski at Mount Charleston, which is...
You can see it.
Yes, I can see it. And
from here.
It's about... I would say it's probably less than an hour from our house. From our house
40 minutes.
to being on the slopes, it's about an hour. So it's fantastic. About an hour or less than an hour the other way is Lake Mead, so we can go boating or water skiing if that's your thing. Yep. So that's another fantastic thing to do. We have so many parks here. You wouldn't think it because we're in the desert, but we have so many beautiful parks and trails. We have wetlands. Can you believe it? In Las Vegas,
yep.
We have wetlands.
Bike trails, running trails, walking trails, hiking trails.
Yes.
Parks that have tennis courts, basketball courts, soccer fields. You can take your dog out. We have frisbee golf. We have, lots of outdoor stuff. Valley of Fire. State Park. That's in Nevada. It's not that far, about an hour east of Las Vegas.
The other thing is, there's just so much else to do here. Maybe things that I'm not privy to, but I've been so fortunate to do so many outdoorsy things here, and I greatly encourage people to maybe get out of the indoor things that are on the strip and go check out the outdoorsy things.
Okay. So the first thing was all the outdoorsy things. I'm going to go with low cost of living.
Okay.
Without talking about the taxes. We'll talk about that. You can talk about that. Okay, low cost of living.
Okay.
It is relatively inexpensive to live here compared to San Diego, Phoenix, San Francisco, New York, or even, maybe not Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Spokane, Washington. They might be better cost of livings. But the ratio for the cost of living versus all the things you can do. So like places tend to be expensive because there's a lot of stuff to do. New York's expensive because there's a ton of stuff to do. The whole, California coast is expensive because there's stuff to do. Well, we have a ton of stuff to do, but it's not expensive.
No.
So the cost of living, what you pay for all your goods and services is extremely low. We probably probably have the highest in the world cost of living ratio for actual things that you can do. Like I mentioned all the outdoor things, but there's a ton of other things we're going to talk about that make Las Vegas great. So that was cost of living.
I thought you were going to pick food, honestly.
Okay,
That's
so
what
you
I
can
thought
talk about food then.
So the food in Las Vegas, oh my goodness. Where do we start? So we have thousands of restaurants off the Strip, and then on the Strip, of course, we have all the famous restaurants. We have lots of 5-star restaurants, celebrity chef restaurants, Michelin star restaurants, restaurants that will absolutely delight you, amaze you, and make you get a second mortgage.
So name some favorite restaurants on the Strip.
Okay.
In case they come to the Strip.
Okay, so some favorite restaurants. So I like Mon Ami Gabby because I have a wonderful view of the Bellagio across the street.
You want to ask to sit out on the patio.
Yes.
If you go to Mon Ami Gabby.
Yes. So I get to see the Bellagio fountains across the street. Plus, Mon Ami Gabby has good food, and I enjoy that very much.
Okay.
Craft steak, yummy steaks.
MGM.
At the MGM, absolutely. What else can we? Jean-Georges at, is it the Cosmopolitan?
Aria.
Is that the Aria? Okay.
At the Aria.
So there are lots of restaurants.
Good ones on Fremont Street too.
Yes.
There's a bunch of them.
Right. Look, any cuisine you can think of, Las Vegas has. So if you like Thai food, we have lots of Thai food. If you like Indonesian food, we have that. If you like Ethiopian food, we have that. If you like Russian food, we have that. French food, Italian food.
Bulgarian. We went to Bulgarian last week.
Bulgarian food. Any food from any corner of the world is here. We have over 130 nationalities here in Las Vegas.
Yep.
That's a lot of people from a lot of different places. So Las Vegas in that way is very cosmopolitan because we have flavors from all over the world here.
I'm going to say we have better food than New York City. New York City's a big city. It has a lot, but our food overall is better. When we go to New York City, we have the restaurants we like, but for the size of the city being smaller, we have a ton of restaurants that are very good.
Right, certainly for the size of the city, we have a lot of variety and a lot of absolutely excellent restaurants, yes.
Okay. Entertainment. You might have heard that Las Vegas is the entertainment capital of the world.
Yes.
And it's when people think of Las Vegas, a lot of times this is what I get. Oh, I live in Las Vegas. They go, oh, I'm not a big gambler. That's the first. I don't really like to gamble, so I wouldn't like living there. Well, guess what? I don't like to gamble. And I don't like the ROI. The ROI is not very good. You lose. It's a negative ROI. So, but the entertainment here, everything from all of the Vegas shows, the big Vegas shows, the Cirque du Soleil shows, the entertainers that come through. Some have residencies here where they stay, like Celine Dion or Jerry Seinfeld or Britney Spears or Lady Gaga or whoever. They're here. They perform for quite a while. And then, like just today, Oana was saying Journey's coming to town in like a couple weeks. And then, but everyone comes to Vegas.
Yes.
Everybody comes to Vegas.
Look, you have to go usually someplace, unless you live somewhere like LA, San Francisco, or New York, you're going to have to travel to see big name entertainment most of the time. In our case, everybody who's anybody comes to Vegas. So whether it's the people who are current today or the people from yesterday, they all come to Vegas. And no matter what the genre is, whether it's music or comedians, whatever it is, it comes to Vegas. We have the Smith Center here, which attracts Broadway across America. So speaking of New York, a lot of the popular shows that are in New York eventually make their way through Vegas as well. So we do have this wonderful mix of entertainment, both from the glitzy to the classical. We do have some classical entertainment here as well. So it's a very well-rounded entertainment city in that way.
If you live here, you could probably go to as many Broadway shows in a year as you can go to in New York, because the shows come in. You can also drive up to St. George, which is about 2 hours away, and go to the Tuacahn. They have professional theater there, Broadway shows. We just saw Man of La Mancha like 2 months ago, right? We also have permanent shows. So for a while we had Mamma Mia, we have Phantom of the Opera, we had Jersey Boys, Hamilton's coming. It's supposed to be at the Paris. That'll be, of course, a big draw. Everyone loves Hamilton. And then the Smith Center has all the other musicals. What else? What's another reason that they would want to come here?
So one of the things that Las Vegas is accused of is not having any culture. And I take exception with that. So like we talked about, that we have lots of entertainment that comes to town, and that's fantastic. But we also have other things. We actually have a lot of art galleries. We have a very vibrant art scene. Yeah. You wouldn't think it, but we really do. So we have lots of artists that live in town and that have galleries here. They have exhibitions here. So I think that's very interesting. We have some interesting museums here. For example, we have the Mob Museum, which I think is very interesting. So lots of different things. I think there's something for everybody. And I think that if you live here or if you visit here and you make a little bit of effort, you can have the most amazing experience and see something new and learn something new every day.
There's actually an arts district where they have that type of, the art galleries and things like that. But the art galleries are all over town. And we also have a growing tech presence.
Yes, we do.
We have tech companies have either come here or the workers have come here, but Vegas is starting to get this overflow. Traditionally, the tech scene here was games. And I don't mean like casino games. I mean like there was a game industry where games were made in Las Vegas. And a lot of games you played potentially there were some studios here in Las Vegas. And so tech is growing here. It's not like it's growing in Austin or Miami where it's blowing up because so many tech companies have moved there. But it's growing here. And then we're also starting to see companies come here to Nevada to take advantage of the tax. That's the next one. The tax advantages, because it's a low tax state for companies, but there's no personal income tax.
Right. So, kind of to Todd's point regarding tech companies, it's not just tech companies, it's all kinds of innovative companies. So, for example, Boxable is here in town. Boxable builds tiny houses, basically. And there are lots of different companies like that are coming to town, and they bring good jobs, and they bring an opportunity for growth. They bring opportunities for the students at the university, because that's one of the things that we do have here is we do have a university. So it's not just the four-year university. We have a university, we have a medical school, we have a law school. So Las Vegas is actually a good educational opportunity for people too. And of course we have probably, if not the most, certainly one of the most famous hospitality programs at the university here in Las Vegas in the world. So there are a lot of different opportunities here. It's not just fun, but there are also educational opportunities here.
Yep. And then low taxes.
Low taxes.
Okay, so there's just a handful of states: Alaska, Washington, Nevada, Tennessee, Florida, and Texas. I think that's it. Zero personal income tax. So whatever you earn, you pay your federal taxes, but the state doesn't take any of that. And they don't take any of that because the state gets a lot of its revenue from tourists.
Absolutely.
And gaming taxes and things like that. And so we have a very large tax haven. It's very relatively very friendly for businesses to come here.
Absolutely. So between no state income tax, low property taxes, and an easy place to start a business. It's very easy to start a business in Nevada. You go on the Secretary of State website, they have instructions there, and bada bing, bada boom, you're in business. So it's a very good place to do business. It's a very good place to find a job, no matter what your educational level or your experience level. It's a young town for the most part. And that's something that people don't realize. It is a young town. I raised my kids here, and there were just so many things to do with young kids here. We have lots of indoor playgrounds, bounce houses, all kinds of fun things to do. There are good schools here, which I know that good schools are hard to come by. But just like anywhere else, even though it's public education, it depends on the school as to how well it does. We have lots of private schools here. So we have lots of different opportunities here for people wanting to relocate here with their families.
What about the job scene here? Jobs. People want jobs. What if you don't have a college degree and you just show up in Las Vegas?
Great place to work. We have a large service industry, but beyond that, like I said, there are a lot of startups here. And in today's environment with startups, they're not necessarily always looking for a 4-year degree. Sometimes they're looking for other things, and there might be an opportunity there for somebody with a particular set of skills or interest to do well.
It is a young city, but we also have these retirement communities.
We do.
Aged 55 and over. What about those?
So the retirement communities are fantastic. They're single-family homes for the most part. They do have some townhouses and that sort of thing, but for the most part, they're single-family homes, and they have golf courses and all kinds of activities. It's a great place for people who are on a fixed income, retired, to really make the most of their money. Not only that, but our climate is pretty temperate, so that means that they don't have to shovel snow, they don't have to deal with storms for the most part, or anything like that, or any kind of inclement weather. So it's a nice place to live in retirement. People do still go wherever they came from to visit their families, but for the most part, they do live here to take advantage of the lower cost of living and all the fun things to do in retirement.
This is Thanksgiving time, and the weather next week is the highs are going to be right around 70.
Yes.
People always say, oh, I went to Vegas once in August and it was miserable. If you came from some other place and you came here in August, that is not a good representation. That's just like me going to Chicago in January and going, this place is miserable. How can anyone stand to live here while it's snowing and freezing cold, right? It does get warm in the summer. Those of us who live here are acclimated to it. It is low humidity. It makes it a lot easier. I promise you, if you're walking around Miami, you're going to be drenched, even if it's only 80 degrees, and that doesn't happen here. Except for a couple months a year, the weather here is absolutely gorgeous. We have very few days a year where it actually gets below freezing, and then you don't have to worry about your pipes bursting or anything like that. That tends to not happen here. Retirees, of course, love it here because the low cost of living, their incomes aren't taxed. Their money goes a lot further, and then there's a lot of golf course communities. Golf is huge here. There's tons and tons of golf course communities and that you can live in. If you love to play golf, we probably have more golf courses per capita, I imagine, than anywhere. Sun City Summerlin has three full, well, they're not full, but they have 3 18-hole golf courses. Some of them have like par 3s and par 4s, but they're still, it's pretty nice.
Right. So, because the weather in Las Vegas for the most part is pretty temperate, we do maximize our living space by incorporating the outdoors. So a lot of us have patios, covered patios, not enclosed, but covered patios. And that's where we have breakfast, or maybe we have dinner out there. It's very nice. And you see that in the design of homes, with a lot of homes, particularly newer homes, that have the big sliding glass doors that are pocket doors, so that it actually opens up the living space to the outdoors. So that's all part of that living in Las Vegas lifestyle.
If you watch some of the videos where Oana does walkthroughs of some of the model homes, you get a good feel for what Las Vegas has as far as for living in homes. But what's interesting is that we're a very, very suburban residential city. But people, when they watch movies or they come visit, all they see is a strip, and they don't realize that once you go out about 3 or 4 miles, it's just resident. It's like, it's very residential. There's stuff to do. There's stores. It's pretty nice.
Kind of to your point about stores, the nice thing about Las Vegas is that we are a 24-hour town, so that means that a lot of stores are either open late or open 24 hours, which is something that is different than other parts of the country. And then the other thing to really bring forward that people maybe don't always consider is traffic. Now, depending on where you're coming from, Las Vegas has very little traffic. So if you're coming from Southern California, we have no traffic.
Oh yeah, we have no traffic. You'd be like, where's all the traffic? This isn't rush hour, is it?
Yes. So for the most part, even at rush hour, the freeways do move. No, they no longer move at 70 miles an hour, but they're moving usually about 35. and that's through
and that's
rush
for
hour.
about a 1 hour period.
Right, and that's during rush hour.
Yeah.
But very seldom are we at a standstill unless there's an accident. But our freeways are in fantastic condition. That means that no potholes, lots of lanes. People are zooming by pretty quickly and they're getting to where they need to be without spending excessive time on the road.
There's a lot of advantages of living here. We're a growing city. And people tend to not leave. Like a lot of people come here, and as a matter of fact, there was something somebody put on Facebook, which was words to the effect of, how many of you are still here after you said you were just going to come for a couple years?
Me.
Yeah, that's like, and then all the people responding saying, oh, I've been here for 15, 20 years or whatever. I've actually been here off and on for 46 years.
Wow.
46 years. Left for the military for 14 years and then eventually came back. So I've seen the town change, but it's still a great place to live. And so those are some of the things that we really like: entertainment, the weather, the shows, the food, the low cost of living, the low taxes, the plentiful number of jobs. I think probably I'll finally just say that, want to mention that we're very diverse with people from all over the world here, and because of that, everybody is pretty accepting of. They're used to going and seeing different things, Middle Eastern or whatever. So everybody's pretty laid back and cool about that. If you've noticed when you watch in the news and there's stuff going on in the world, it's never really anything bad going on in Vegas.
No.
Like there's usually never any riots. There's never any protests. Everyone here is just kind of doing their thing, and I'd say we're maybe more apolitical. Right. Evenly politically balanced.
Well, I'm not sure how balanced we are, but we're certainly all more interested in living our lives and doing the best that we can for our families.
Yep, for sure. If you liked the video, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you have any comments, leave them. We respond to all the comments. And what else?
I have answered why I love living in Las Vegas before on Quora, so I'll put a link down below.
Yep.
So you can see some pictures. Look, we have fantastic things to do in Vegas. If you're coming to town and you're wondering what to do, drop us a note and we'll give you some ideas.
All right, we'll see you on the next video.
Bye.
Bye.